Good afternoon. My name is DJ Murphy, and I'm the editor-in-chief of ISC News. I would like to welcome you all today to our presentation, Automate Your Security Operations Through Effective Smart Patrol Management and Control. So it's 2 p.m. here on the East Coast of the US where I am. I know it's still before noon for some of you, and for our presenter, who I'll introduce in just a second, it's the middle of the night, so we're really pleased we could make this work. Even before COVID, the notion of leveraging automation to wring as much efficiency as possible from various business functions had really taken root. But as the pandemic unfolded, even functions we once thought wouldn't benefit much from automation were really forced to reconsider in the face of an increasingly remote workforce and really devastating economic disruption and conditions around the world. Managing physical security it really falls into that. Physical security patrols and operations have traditionally been heavily reliant on humans and manual processes, but technology has really caught up. Monitoring patrols, responding to security incidents, and managing remote and dispersed staffs are areas where automation is truly making an impact. And to discuss this today, I'm really happy to have Ian Stewart with us. Ian is CEO and founder of Software Risk. I'm going to let him tell us a little bit about himself and his company in just a second. But before I do, I just wanted to mention a couple of things. First, we are recording this session. So if you miss any of it or you want to go back and see it, you can go to ISC News and click on resources and webinars, and this will be archived there on demand for you. So we invite you back to do that. And also Q&A. Ian will be taking questions at the end. Please enter your questions into the Q&A box on your control panel, the Q&A button down at the bottom. Enter your questions there, and I will ask them of Ian at the end when we're ready to address them. So Ian, right now I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away for us.
Yeah, thanks DJ for the introduction, and I'm very grateful to be able to talk on automation. That's something in Software Risk that we've been working on for the last 3 years. And for myself, I've been working in the security industry for a number of years and have some ex-military and police background as well. I was running companies up to 4,000 security guards and living with the problems and just trying to work out that there must be an easier way. And automation is the easier way. And I guess in the security industry, the transition towards automation and just innovation in general in the security industry is very slow to be taken up, and there's a slow uptake of companies looking to use smart solutions. And there's a real opportunity, I think, for security companies and security operatives to look at how they might automate their operations and make their management of their operations more efficient. So what we'll be covering today is we'll be going through site and mobile patrols with automated notifications. I'll be covering some checkpoint-specific task assignments and looking at incident reporting with some supporting evidence around how that's done with software, and we can really get some fantastic outcomes with regards to security operations where we use smart solutions and where automation not only creates the task, monitors the task, but creates a record of the task that you can always look at. But to get the discussion going today, we've got some polls throughout the webinar, and this is the first one. Are you or is your organisation currently adopting any smart solutions to manage your security operations? So if you can just have a look at where you sit and put some, okay, so some answers coming in there. And yeah, it's quite interesting. So we're seeing over 50% looking for a solution, 40% are not really looking for a solution. So we've got about 65% not looking for a solution, about 40, around 35, 40% who are. So that's some interesting results there. And I think what we found in security risk and is that when we've done some research around this, that we found that there are around actually 95% of companies aren't actually using any type of smart solution, and only 5% are. we're seeing some higher numbers on the poll here today of those who are using smart solutions, which is not surprising because you're out here looking for answers. And I think we're going to find people on this webinar who are actually looking for solutions. But let's look at how most organisations and security personnel are conducting their operations at the moment. Traditional patrol challenges are really around how security has always been done, and there hasn't been a lot of change in security operations and integration with technology. So traditional methods of patrol scheduling are done via pen and paper methods or Excel spreadsheets and files. They're time consuming and repetitive, and the lack of reminders and notifications for guards of upcoming patrols or other upcoming tasks is a real issue. You can set a patrol going and as a manager or a security operations manager and not really be sure that it's going to be happening. So because you don't get the visibility on the status and detail of the completed patrols. So the issue being is, as an example, is that if you get your client says, I think your guards were sleeping, for instance, on site last night, you're always going to wonder as a security manager or security operations personnel about whether they were. But if you have automated patrols, you can see that those patrols have come up. You can then see that they were done. Then it gives you an opportunity to sort of look at managing security in a different way. So automated patrol management, let's have a look at how technology can assist in these outcomes. Security Risk Manager is our software suite in security that Software Risk has developed. It allows managers to create and schedule recurring patrols easily. So it gives the visibility in real time through software as a service of all completed patrols, and you can gain access to those details historically through our portal, which is an online platform. And I'll get into more detail about how our software addresses this a little bit later. So, but effectively, with automated patrol management, guards and responders are notified via an application that their assigned patrols are coming up, and then or other assigned tasks are coming up, and so no patrols or tasks are missed. So this eliminates the administrative tasks of what an operations manager is always doing, chasing up guards and patrols to always be doing their work. So in this situation, using our sleeping example, if the client's wondering if they're sleeping, they can actually log on to the site and see the logged in guard moving around the site at any one time and get that real-time feedback. And also, if you get that report from a client, you can go on and check as an operations manager and see that the tasks are being completed and the patrols are being done. So that actual real-time visibility that you get really does increase confidence and increases compliance on sites for clients, and it actually makes the whole management a lot easier. So the other thing I've been touching on is tasks. Just going around and doing a patrol is one thing, but there might be a number of things that you want to achieve, and depending on the security environment or the operation, there's a whole bunch of things around physical security that need to be checked. So with automation, it's not just about checking that the person was there, it's about, well, what are they doing when they were there? So a smarter patrol and a smarter solution is having a number of tasks that need to be performed at some checkpoints. So we can load these into our software system and automate those tasks as well when checkpoints are cleared, and then provide our guards or other operatives little checklists to see what they're checking when they get to a certain point. So for guards on our Sentry software that we have, guards will be asked to complete these tasks, and they'll be asked to check that they've done them before they move on to the next task or the next checkpoint. So this gives an evidence base for each task, and we can ensure that all patrols are not just completed and that they go around and don't even check anything, but we can be sure that they've gone around and actually done the task they're meant to do at each checkpoint. So an example might be that, well, at one checkpoint there might be a gate, so you want to check that the gate is locked or the door is secured. The other one might be that there's a secure item that needs to be checked that it hasn't been interfered with. It could be a generator, it could be a fuel reading on how many liters of fuel are in a fuel tank. You can actually then take a photo using our software, and that's the task that you'll take, and then you can see that the fuel levels were at the same level all night. So these smart levels of taskings and the evidence that you can create just as you go around and do the patrol really do really does give you a lot of confidence about if something does go wrong, at least gives you a really precise time for when it was last right. So this ensures that critical tasks are completed and the details then are captured in the system. And these can be generated in reports and shared, and they become a good start point for investigations. So, and leading on from investigations or reporting on anything that's happened on a task or a patrol or a checkpoint, we have a lot of reporting challenges in security industry. Traditional reporting, again, uses manual and outdated processes, handwritten statements, I guess, detailed writing up reports which are done after the event where you have to interview guards. They require a lot of labour and intensive operations manager time to do the investigations about incident reporting. You will have to, as an operations or security manager, you will have to go to the site. You'll need to interview the guard. The guard may not be on shift. You may have to wait for them to come in again. You might want to search their actual physical documents. You may not be able to read their documents, and then you may need to essentially rebuild the picture through your own investigation process, but never really get a confidence or a true sense about what happened because you don't have any real-time information and you're trying to put the puzzle back together after the incident. So incidents that are captured by pen and paper methods, they really provide a lot of high level of management. And there's a high risk of the data that you gather through those paper methods or through interviews, the integrity of that data is at risk and that it can be quite inaccurate. So how does a smart solution, innovation solution deal with this? So for us, we have incident reporting built into the software, and a lot of this feeds out of the checkpoints and the task work. So for instance, if you're going around and doing a routine checkpoint, you might find a broken window. So you're able to take a photo of the broken window, record some audio, and you immediately get the basis of a report as soon as the information is found, with a real-time, uninterfered with photo of the incident event or the place in which the incident has occurred. So our security risk manager software or platform empowers guards to report incidents in real time as soon as it's spotted. And this clean and simple interface that we built, and you can see a picture of it on the screen there, it is designed to be used by anyone, and it uses iconography. So you don't actually need a high level of language literacy and numeracy ability to actually use the software. There's no words on that app. What you can see there is that for recording an incident report, you can do an audio clip, or you can do a small photo. And then the icons at the bottom is, the first one is an open door, the next one is a lost item, the next one is a broken window, the other one's an emergency, and then there's any other report. So all you have to do is train your guards what those icons mean, and then they can make the type and categorize the type of report that you want. So this clean and simple interface then makes reporting more automated and simpler and more likely to be done because it makes it easier for the guard to make their record. So incidents reported by this application can then be uploaded into the platform using a range of images, audio recordings, and descriptions of the details. So this reduces and eliminates risk of compromising the data integrity and the data inaccuracy you get from the traditional methods. So I guess the real advantage here is that reporting is immediate, it's time-stamped, and it gets at-time information, which is both reportable, I guess, accountable and transparent with regards to the accuracy of the information. It's a really big change, and it will give both security operators and clients a lot more confidence about how their operations are being managed. So that's a short overview so far, and I think it's time for another poll now that we've been discussing this for some time, and we can discuss a little bit more thought about it. The next question is, do you think adopting a smart security solution would provide more visibility and help ease the challenges that you currently face with security operations?
And while we're waiting for folks to weigh in here, just keep in mind that if you have any questions about the solution that you'd like Ian to answer, please put it in the Q&A and we'll get to it at the end. Thanks.
Thank you, DJ. We've seen some good results there. Around 90% are saying yes, which I think is showing that as we're going through some of this information, we're seeing the opportunity that technology provides us for automation, that's a higher number than those who were considering in the first poll. So that's interesting and quite, I think when people see the opportunity in technology, very quickly it's seen that really there's a lot. Although implementing technology can sometimes be a challenge, once you have it and it works well, you can make a big difference to how your operations work. So a summary of what we've sort of gone through so far is, and then I'll talk more about our software and how it deals with it in specific terms, is that we have a site mobile patrols with automated notification. So essentially that's automating patrols. Then we have checkpoint specific task assignments, which is a key feature that's automating tasks and making sure that all tasks are completed each checkpoint or any other nature of tasks that may not be checkpoint related. And then the last part is that once you've done these automated patrols and you've done these automated tasks, that you have a record of them that gives you that supporting document that can be used. And also anything you find when on your patrol or anything you find at your task specific area you can create an incident report in real time, provide real evidence in real time. Get, for instance, if it's a serious investigation scene, you can have photos that are recorded right there and then. They give a great investigation point for other security investigators and potentially police and other investigators outside of the organisation. So our solution, this is what we've been working on in software risk for the last 3 years. We work on more than just security, but this is our release product and this is our platform. What it is it's a robust and trusted, reliable platform that facilitates safe connections for security managers and their clients across the sites that they manage. It works as a software as a service, and it's for the security industry, and it works as a cloud-based platform. But it is a smart solution. It only uses available desktop tools such as computers, laptops for the control room and operations management side of it, and it uses handheld devices, iPhones or Android devices for your in the field work, for your guards, your investigators, and even your clients and managers can use a portable mobile version of the software. But one of the innovative parts about our software is if you are a guard and you go offline for 12 hours or a day, you can continue to do your patrols and do your automated tasks. And next time you get access to the cloud, it will upload the data at that point. So it's quite robust. It does work on low bandwidth networks and it works offline. And we've developed it in accordance with ISO standards for private security operations. Excuse me. So our solution is Security Risk Manager. That is at its heart. And the first part of it, as I mentioned, is our control room operations. And you often think of control rooms having some sort of access to CCTV, but not really. Most of them are fed with Excel spreadsheets recording incidents. They're hard to search what's going on, and it's hard to get a real visibility on a map. So we call this SRM portal. That's our control room. It's a browser-based desktop or computer-based piece of software. Works through a browser. You can then bring up a map and look at all your operations. You can go into a particular site and see which guards are on which patrols and how they're moving around. Or you can go in and search historically any type of incident, patrol, or other thing that's happened across your entire operation. The next part is Responder. This is the mobile security operative. It could be a mobile guard, and for some security companies that only do mobile patrols, and they just drive from one site to another, checking that they're secure and then moving to the next one. SRM Responder is what you would want. But responders are also the ability to concentrate and deploy mobile responders to areas where more need is required. But for basic physical security, for static sites, we have Sentry, which is for your guard that is on a site that is manning the site 24/7. It has to do patrols every 20 minutes, every half hour, or every hour. And it has the requirement to do checkpoints and or perform and check tasks on the site. That's Sentry. And then the last one we have is called SRN Customer, which is the ability for clients and, if you want to, members of the public to log onto the system and see information that's published. So in Portal or Responder, there's options to publish information that can either just go internal to the security company, it can go to the client, or potentially it could go to the general public. So in summary, we have Portal, which is a web-based product. We have Responder, Sentry, and Customer, which are Android and iOS pieces of software that can be downloaded in the Play or the App Store. And then for Responder, it's about managers and mobile responders. For Sentry, it's about guards. And for Customer, it's around the clients or the public. So yeah, that's the summary of our software. And just to reiterate the automation aspect of it, it is an integrated platform. It is not just one software that does one thing. But if you're a guard company that only wants to do guard patrols, you can set up Sentry and you don't need to use Responder or Customer, and that will be enough for you. If you're a company that does just investigations and incident reporting, then Responder would be all you need. You don't need Sentry because you're not doing checkpoints and guard patrols. But overall, through Portal and the way you set it up, it enables you to automate all your operations, which is at the heart of what we're looking at today, and automate and make sure that you have all your resources, all your personnel on task, automated throughout their shifts, and knowing what they're doing, and then gathering information so that you can keep your people safe on each site that you're managing, keep your assets safe, and also create the records to report and show how they've been kept safe, or in the event things go wrong, create real-time records for what has gone wrong and information so that we can improve for the future. So with us, we've been looking at automation for some time, not just for this webinar, and we did publish this automation ebook last year. And it is, I guess, automation is about getting ahead of the industry if you're able to set your organisation up for automation and in technology. And I think for software risk and through Security Risk Manager, our platform, I think we're ahead of the security industry. I think it's a real opportunity for security operatives or companies to get ahead of their competitors. As I said earlier, only 5% of security companies are using some type of solution similar to what we have developed. So the ebook then covers this in more detail. It talks about operational security tasks that can be automated, and obviously pointing to what our software being as an opportunity for that. It has a deeper dive into incident reporting, going through some of the aspects of incident reporting and the templates and sorts of information you can gather there, and a comparative analysis of different security management solutions. And I think, as you'll see from the webinar today and some of the thoughts and what if you look in our ebook about the real need to transition to smart security solutions. So there is a copy of the link, and you can get that from our website and through the link on this presentation. So that's it for the presentation to get today on automation. And I think it's a good point now for DJ, perhaps if we can see if there's any questions that people have.
All right, absolutely. And that ebook really looks like a fantastic resource. I appreciate you making it available to our audience here. If you see folks in the chat, the link to that ebook is available over there. So go ahead and download that and look at it at your convenience. And there's some really great stuff in there. Again, if you do have questions about the solution for Ian, go to the Q&A chat and the Q&A button at the bottom of your webinar dashboard, and you can ask your question there. We do have a couple that came in, so why don't we just start right in on it here? I know when we start talking about tech solutions and automation, things like that, some people kind of will back off because they're not IT folks and they don't really have a lot of experience with it. The first question that came in asked how easy is it for people, both tech and non-tech, to adapt to in implementing Security Risk Manager and using it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think when we look at new systems and IT, and the first time any of us turned on a computer, it's a daunting thing. And so everyone worries about the change management requirements to bring in a solution like this. But we have we've tested this in Papua New Guinea and some pretty remote countries and areas, and we're able to get, what we do is when it's trained and when we deploy it the first time, we train the supervisors on how the software works. They then train their guards, and within 2 days, sites that had been missing patrols all the time, without any more questions, they never missed a patrol again in the next 8 months that we were monitoring the testing. So that was just our initial release product. It's a lot more advanced now, and it's a lot more easy to use, and we refined the experience. And I would say that once you make the decision to take on the software, once you go through that initial 2 or 3 days of getting your head around it, you actually free up more time than you could ever imagine. And the initial couple of days of deploying it will seem like the best time you've ever spent in terms of the amount of time it creates for you, because it is really easy to get it up and running. As I pointed out in the presentation, the iconography makes it simple, and it makes it that common interface that we create through the software actually has the effect of training guards and security personnel about what to do. And they don't need to think as much about what they need to do, because they just look at the software and they use it to determine their outcomes and what they're meant to do in an incident reporting situation.
A lot of people are very interested. This next question I'm looking at are interested in real world demos. They want to know how a piece of technology can work, in their environment. And the question just asked: are we able to try out your solution before committing to purchasing it?
Yes, So there's a link on our website to start a demo, and we have a 14-day trial period. So there is a period for you to get in there and start a trial without having to pay. And so in that 14-day periods, that's more than enough time to get on board, set up a couple of sites, see how that site works, and then really get using the software. So yeah, absolutely, that can happen if need be, and people still have questions. They can contact our contact center, and we can do a bit more intensive sort of demonstrations and onboarding if they're having difficulties using it as well.
Okay. Cost is always a factor. The next question sort of asked about that. Will there be a significant increase to our expenses if we were to implement this solution?
So I would say no, because for 2 reasons. One, we are our entry point for the lowest base level of just the guard management software is $100 a month. So you can get quite a few sites run for that amount of money. For what the software does, that is the cheapest on the market. Now that aside, it will actually save you time and money in terms of freeing up your resources. So it would be the best $100 a month you ever spent if you just get the base level product, because it will free up the amount of time that you don't need to be going to site and checking if your guards are asleep. Just that the 3 hours you might spend at one site chasing up an incident that you don't need to check anymore because you can just go online to see if the patrols were done. You'll get your money back within days of actually deploying the software. So it's really cost efficient in both the price point, but it's also cost efficient in terms of the operational efficiencies that deliver straight back to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that automation has taken hold in so many areas in different organizations, not just security, but across the board. I mean, the ROI can be significant in some cases. So of course, folks who aren't used to automating their systems would be concerned about it, but that's generally one of the things you see in automation implementations. So that's good to hear. Looks like another question. It says, I know you mentioned this when you put the ebook up, but you mentioned that you do have other areas of security that your automation helps automate. What other areas of security operations does your solution help to automate, and how can people find out about it?
Yeah, so I think, there's a lot more detail to our software. It's not just about automation, but there's so many aspects to it. We have developed the software for you to run all the operations of your security company. So you can manage your guards and your personnel. You can manage your assets across the organization and where those assets are deployed and who they're with. There's a whole range of things that can be done across our software. It is designed to do effectively every part of your operations, not just automation, but from when your guard starts work, he logs in, and the guard then goes to site. He has his tasks for the day. He gets reminders to do those tasks, and then he might get a specialist equipment issued to him that can be tracked through our software as well. That can be anything from vehicles to weapons or other special radios or other specialist equipment you want to track. And you then create a record internally about how those assets move and who last had them. You can then use that same incident reporting framework to take a photo of the state of the asset or any equipment that goes with an asset. In security operations, if it's weapons, each weapon might have a magazine of rounds. At the handover point, you can take a photo of that and create a record that the handover was done correctly from one team to another. So all these things about how you run your operations at every part of your operation really are covered. There's messaging function within the software so that you're not reliant on radios and mobile phones exclusively. There's another function there to do direct messaging, and I guess the other side of it is the emergency response aspect of it. Is that anyone who's on the software, whether it be a client, a customer, a guard, or a responder, can activate an emergency response, and then from there, through either the portal or any guard or responder who's on the system, can all see it, and anyone can then go to the assistance of the person who is in an emergency. So there's a whole bunch of things that just across your security spectrum that are all dealt with in the software. There's almost sort of nothing that isn't dealt with. So I'd say that if 90 to 95% of your operations, if you're a physical security company, will be dealt with and can be managed, monitored, and recorded in our software platform.
Okay. Another question came in just now. It asked, is your solution standalone software as a service, or does it integrate with monitoring station software?
Yeah, so it's standalone software as a service focused on operations, but integration is on our development timeframe. So we're looking within the next 12 months that we'll have integration with other monitoring software, so that we can then, in our portal, we can then not just monitor information coming from within our software system, but other software, third-party software, can feed incidents through the data they generate into the single portal. So we envisage that as our software develops and third-party providers also see the advantage of a single-use platform, is that they will be able to link into our operations view point, and incidents that are created by other third-party software will show up in a single operations viewpoint, and then we can link them, and the way that we're developing it, you can then link them to incident reports, investigations, and other things.
Yeah. Okay. There were a couple questions on that, so it's good that you were able to address that. It's obviously concern of folks here. All right. I really appreciate it, Ian. Thank you so much, as I mentioned, for getting up so early in the morning to come and talk to folks about this. There are a lot of resources over here in the chat that you folks can click on. There's the ebook. There's a 14-day trial for Security Risk Manager, and some information about pricing as well. All those were put up in the chat, so you can click on those for more information as well. Ian, I want to thank you so much for being here and talking about automation and security in general, and your solution in particular. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, DJ, and thanks to IC News.
All right. Thank you. And as I mentioned, the webinar it has been recorded. You can come back and take a look at it again if you missed anything. And other than that, thank you all for attending, and we will see you next time.